What is up, everybody? Welcome. Thank you so much for hanging tight while we got started here. We're excited to be here for Adobe Live Education Edition. And we thank you. We see you in the chat already. Be sure to comment where you're joining from. We're excited to have you here. My name is Claudio Savala, Jr., Education Evangelist at Adobe. And joining me is my colleague, Andy. How you
Absolutely,
doing,
man.
man?
Hey, I'm Andy Knieven. Thank you, Claudio. I am a community program manager here at Adobe, and I am thrilled to be able to be here with, of course, Claudio and then Michael. Amazing lineup, incredible episode that we have lined up for you today.
We're super pumped. Yeah, and so I'm glad you mentioned Michael is joining. We had student guests about 2 months ago, and so we're excited to have another student guest joining us, and that is Michael Butorak. Thanks so much for joining, Michael. Let's tell us a little about yourself, man.
Yeah, no, thank you, Claudio and Andy. Thank you guys for having me. I've watched almost every episode of Adobe Live, and so I'm honored to be here. And with Ryan, also in the background, hello. It's amazing to be here, and to be on the other side of the screen is just a phenomenal, exciting feeling. So if you're watching and you want to get involved with Adobe, it's possible. You can do it just like I did. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Batorak. For those of you, was it Adam? Hi, Adam, who maybe do know me, or my mom. Hi, mom. It's good to see you again. I'm a MBA student at Cal State Fullerton. I'm a poet here and there with the UN. I'm an Adobe student ambassador, and I've gotten to work with a lot of really cool sections of Adobe in education. The student ambassador team. I got to kind of beta test some exciting things too, so I can't talk about that. But I'm excited to share what I can talk about and show you what we've been kind of building and putting together.
Awesome, and I'm gonna apologize because I butchered your last name, man, and I have it right here. So apologies.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, but so what were some of the things that you can talk about that you've actually like give us some input or anything, like student spaces? Maybe was that one of them?
Student Spaces is great. Student Spaces is an opportunity for students to have basically the ultimate study Jarvis. Like if you're thinking like Iron Man, it's
Like
a
that.
really good mind map, I think is the way to put it. And it gives a lot of clarity to projects that you're working on, to study material. If you're applying for jobs, it gives industry trends. It uses AI in a tasteful way to give you those analytics and insights that you can then pour into like a mind map. So I previously used it for uploading my resume. I was applying to a few different projects. I hate resume work. I love just having conversations like this. But there were some opportunities where that was kind of the pebble you had to toss in the pond, and that made it a lot more fun. It was more of an experience than it was like a workout.
Very cool. And I would say everyone, if you've not followed Michael, be sure because he's sharing amazing content on social. So be sure to do that. And so today, what are we doing here today? It's like what's going on. So like we're gonna be, if you've seen any of our posts on social, we're gonna be talking about like taking poems or words and turning them into visual arts, works of art. What if something you wrote, something deeply personal, can be transformed into kind of a very beautiful, stunning visual artwork. And so we're going to be doing that today using some manual drawings. We're actually analoging today. Michael's going to be analoging today, which I love analog, and incorporating digitally and using like Adobe Express. And then later on in the session, we're going to dive into a little bit of Adobe Firefly with some poems that Andy and I had kind of pulled out. So but yeah, Andy, anything you want to share?
Totally. Yeah. So, I mean, whether you're a student working on a creative project, I mean, I love Michael, your say of with spaces. I mean, to be able to apply what you're creating and building, but then to have that as something to share later on. I mean, just being real is important. But educators looking for a fresh way to bring language arts, visual literacy all together. That's
Mhm.
important. And so, or anybody that, I mean, just somebody like me that loves the idea of art meeting words, this is for you.
Yeah.
So, no prior design experience needed. This is just like what Claudia had said, that Michael's going to be doing some analogs and hand some hand skill talent being demonstrated here too. But everybody, just bring your curiosity, add it into the chat. We'd love to see what
Mhm.
kind of curiosity, what kind of imagination you have too.
Yeah.
And if you have a favorite poem, love to hear know what that is as well.
Yeah. If you've taken the road
Absolutely.
less traveled by, then that makes all the difference. If we got any
Yeah.
Robert Frost in the
I
audience.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we dive in, also we want to make sure because we see you there in the chat, be sure to
Mhm.
drop a line in there if you're a student, educator, creative, designer, and let us know where you're joining from. We're so glad to see you. And if you haven't done so, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future episodes. Hit that notification bell. So again, so you can see all the episodes, not just the education edition, but all the Adobe Live sessions. And so, let's talk about Andy. What is this episode about? What is
About
this really about today?
No, well, yeah, I mean that's really what we need to talk about is the why. And there's a long tradition. I love, and as we dive into Tim, I see you in the chat. Yes, great phrase, art meeting words. Great to see everybody adding in the chat where you're coming from Bangladesh as well. But the idea of ekphrasis in literature. This I love adding new words to my vocabulary, but the idea of how the practice of writing is about visual art and the creating visual art is inspired by writing. And what
Mhm.
we put down is then seen and shared. So poetry and painting have always been in conversation with each other, just like we're having a conversation with Michael, Claudio, with everybody around the world in the chat here. And so that's what makes this so fun is that, what Adobe Express and Firefly does is collapse that distance, that challenge between words and art. And you don't need to be a painter. You don't need to know how to draw. Even though simply taking your hand, pencil, pen to paper, you're a drawer, you're an artist.
Yeah.
But you can write, and then using that AI generative creation that creates that visual interpretation of your
Mhm.
words.
Mhm.
100%. And so I dropped the word in there in the chat for everyone to see expresses. So that way, in case you're wondering, like, how do you spell it? It's right there. So yeah. So again, this is it's a huge deal. And again, everything we're talking about, again, use it, whether you're in the classroom or outside classroom and like design firm, or you have your own agency, you have your content creator. I mean, think about like the power of words and, I guess the old adage, pictures worth 1,000 words, that cliche, but really is like taking that and making your words come to life. Michael, we're so pumped. We're looking forward to anything you want to share before we dive in.
Yeah. Um, I would say you guys hit it right on the head. They're the biggest travesty that I can picture is there are people who will live and die without making something of their own, whether that's a painting or a poem or a work of art, building a house, right? It looks different generation to generation. And we're living in an age where making something, whether that's a film, like seeing what they did with Obsession, that crew that came together and like they worked on a lean budget, right? They had a big idea, they went for it. You have filmmakers all around the world that are doing short films, people who use Star Wars action figures, and I think Dave Filoni does that for a lot of his action sequences. He just kind of like models it out, right? This is a phenomenal model to build and to provide a foundation for your ecosystem. And so whether you start with student spaces and you kind of just explore the idea and like say you're working on a film or a scene or a sequence or a poem and you say, I really want it to go this way. It's really helpful to get direction because I'm the kind of guy I love starting with chaos and we're going to get very chaotic today. It's going to be great. But there are times where I like taking a little bit more of a different approach because as a creative, if you take the same approach all the time, you end up sometimes with the same result. So the Adobe Suite gives me the option to kind of start at the end and then backtrack, or I can start in the middle like a Deadpool movie and then catch up from both sides, or I can start at the beginning and then take you through when Captain America gets the serum, right? But we love storytelling, we love showing the
Love it.
process, and now that the suite gives you the ability to do that, and even using generative AI to model what you want things to look at. Like sometimes I'll take a sketch and then I'll say, "Hey, just want to imagine if I took this road, this road and I went down there." Not saying that that's the one that I'm going to use to make stickers and make this and that, but to save the time because it takes a lot of time to acrylic paint. It's sometimes nice to imagine it for yourself when you're not around an active community that is imagining it for you. So you think about Vincent van Gogh sitting in the room and people didn't believe in his artwork, but we have people who feel isolated and alone, and we're in an age where nobody should because we are so connected through internet. So if that feels like you and it's a starry, starry night, then like, just imagine differently and
Yeah.
try to see it finished before you start. But don't let that compromise the idea. Don't let it be a substitute for it. Just use it to see where the rocket ship goes instead of you know, you have to one man, you have to Hail Mary it yourself. Okay.
Love it. That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Yeah, Michael, thanks so much for sharing that. Yeah, and so you know what? Without any further ado, Michael, why don't we go ahead and so
Okay.
just to kind of again to just again everybody, what we're gonna do is like Michael's gonna again we've chatted about this before. We're excited we're gonna be sharing. So Michael, analog, digital, let's go for it and let's
Mhm.
get started, and then we'll do a little demo some more with the Adobe Firefly towards the end.
Great. Okay. So the step one is I'm going to turn on the AI chip that I've inserted in my brain. Okay. So hello, hello. No, I'm just kidding. There is none. There is none.
I love that. I love that.
I should have left more time to make it more suspenseful. I could have had a whole build up. Uh, I can't see the chat, and so you guys will have
I
to.
got you. I
Yeah,
got you
we got
taken
it. We
care of.
got you.
Yeah. And
Good,
so
good. Okay. So I have a
guys,
tradition. This is a ordinary sketchbook, and I love drawing on little sketchbooks like these because I hate going on my phone, and I hate being on devices when I don't have to be, and it just makes me a lot more present. Whether I'm drawing the palm tree that's across the street, or I'm drawing the Indiana Jones hat that I took off my head, so you guys can see that I have hair. It's a lot of fun to kind of just take a picture and capture a moment, and so I'm getting to capture this moment with you, which is special. And we're gonna do some poetry today, and I'm curious, maybe in the chat, if you guys can
Yeah,
share, if you're so willing, maybe a theme that you've encountered this week. Maybe it was like maybe it was a hurdle that you got over. Maybe it was something that excited you, just something that was like a high emotional point, and then we can start there, and then we can backtrack it. It'd be more fun if we
absolutely.
collaborate.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Yeah,
as
let
you're
us know in the
doing
chat.
that,
Let us know in
yeah.
the chat, everybody. Drop something into the chat for like thematic there, what as Michael was asking.
as you're doing that, you guys picturing, should we go square, landscape, or like a portrait? What do you think would be a cool size to do this on?
Man, whichever one. Let's
Okay. Maybe we could go square because then if
square.
that gives us more, we can always go bigger, but if we start smaller, then
Yeah.
we can kind of
It's a good
build, or we
mindset.
can
Yeah.
do multiple squares, which I know we kind of talked about before too. Depending on how this goes, we can do the whole poem on one, or if we are just having a ball and wanting to do multiple sketches, we can do that and do like frame by frame, which could be
Yeah.
exciting. So yeah.
Yeah. Square
Like
sounds
that.
good. And yeah, and keep on adding to the chat, everybody, as you're joining in for that thematic
Mhm.
focus for Michael to free. I mean, this is almost like free verse. Is like you're just taking in and bring it in, live with everybody. But shout out to Dita from Greece, and yeah, Tim Cosgrove's absolutely, so many
Yeah.
opportunities to offer our students by being creative, building,
Here
writing,
we go.
designing, and drawing. There we are.
We got fierce ambivalence, the
Ooh.
ability to hold two opposing truths at once.
Whoa.
Like
Fierce and
tech
ambivalence.
helps us connect while simultaneously real connection doesn't need Wi-Fi.
Ooh. So fierce and ambivalence.
Love that. Thanks. Thank you, Nicole. She's sharing that. Thank you for joining us. One of our
Can I
colleagues
ask
from
Yeah.
Nicole?
across the pond.
Can I ask Nicole, do you see this being like, is it an optimistic, like you're juggling and life is good because you've attained balance, like you're the avatar? Or is it like the duality, like you have your Superman that's bright and cheerful, or in your Batman that's dark and deep? Like, do you picture that being a double-sided coin, or is it like this balanced masterpiece?
Mm.
So keeping an eye on the chat there
Yeah.
while she processes the question. Yeah. So if like I'm like the way, let's see how what her interpretation is. Fierce ambivalence again, like ability to hold two opposing truths at once. So I'm
That's
thinking
cool.
like, yeah.
Word. I'm like, we'll throw the words up. I was gonna that way incorporating the screen as we're doing this. This will be fun because you guys won't get to see. I'll show you the drawing as we're going, but um, the production budget on my end is not that high. Okay, I don't have a cameraman.
You're good, man. You are
My
all
dog, I
good.
tried to show how to hold a camera, but that didn't work. He doesn't have thumbs yet. Here's
Yeah, shout
delicate
go ahead.
rhythm of balance and sitting on a fence.
what was that? Delicate with a
A delicate rhythm and balance of sitting on a fence.
ooh,
Shout out to Mara Bolus for the concept
a delicate rhythm
and balance of sitting
balance.
on a fence.
Ooh,
Oh,
I love how
fans.
as you as everyone you're watching, like I love how you're taking the words, and I noticed that you've used like some of the text font choices to kind of give that ambivalence word kind of a
Yeah, thank you.
almost that feel to that word, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
When you have a than one typeface. Um, but when you give yourself permission to, like, what does the fence feel like, right? Like, is it a connected, like, balance is all interconnected and it's long, right?
Yeah,
Delicate, rhythm is a little bit more firm in my head, right?
yeah,
And then a fence could be maybe more ordinary, like sitting on a fence, like,
yeah, yeah.
like
That's
sitting.
that's amazing.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
look, no, I want also want to point out, Michael, as you're going through, as we in the like the graphic design world, or even like when you're creating presentations, we're always like try to say like how many different fonts should you use when you're presenting, like when you're doing like a presentation, it's like try not to go too wild on the fonts, because you want, but we're breaking that rule here because think of it, it's like visual art here, so it's like we're not confined by those rules. Would you agree there, Andy, on that?
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what makes one poetry possible is that you don't have to follow a set structure. You can make it your own and feel the way you feel. And I love the variety of fonts, and you feel that emotion based on the type or the font choice of it.
oh, thank you. No,
Yeah.
I agree. It's exciting to break the rules. I think Adobe and the forthcoming, programs and updates and things that come out, it's like rules are meant to be broken and fences are meant to be sat between, and a lot of my career was like that where, again, being a traditional artist, like I was always a sketchy guy and always a sketchy guy. Uh, and as I say this, I'll start sketching kind of the inspiration for this. I'm thinking like the fence aspect, like I'm picturing somebody sitting on a fence,
Uh-huh.
and I'm almost thinking like a bug on a fence, and maybe
Ooh,
on two sides there's like maybe there's the typical hive, and then there's like the highway, because one's the man-made way, and then the other's like the natural order.
I
So
love
is
that.
this bug gonna like buzz down the freeway, or is he gonna return to the hive and like remember what home is like, right?
Yeah.
Just
Um,
like the path of that naturally supposed to take.
exactly. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
picturing like we got a name. What was her name from before?
Well, Nicole's the one that gave the shout out on the idea, and she added back in on yes, she's the rhythm is water, very fluid, ever
Ooh.
evolving. The sitting on the fence helps with that idea, but people grasp what it means to hold two opposing truths.
You know what?
Deep in our feels. Absolutely, Nicole, deep in our feels. Thanks. She said thanks for running with this, and yes, also art hip hop friends saying typeface, not necessarily font, but typeface. Yes.
Mhm. I agree. And I apologize. Mateo's gonna get me, Mr. Owlman from Type Thursday. He's gonna you will have my head. My words. Um, but what kind of to Nicole, what she said, I think the bug idea should be replaced with a water bottle, because a water bottle sitting on a fence is not, if a water bottle's half full, then that means that it can blow either on either side. It just depends on where the wind's at, right?
Mm.
So if we take that and we're already like doing some poetry here. Look at this. We're gonna add a page same size page, and we're just gonna kind of like type out these ideas because we're gonna keep that as like the main. Oops, there we go. Where's my text? There we are. Texty, texty, text. So, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, here we go. Hi, Ryan.
We're gonna
Guys,
shout out
ladies
to
and
our
gentlemen,
producer.
Ryan Selvey. Yes.
Shout out to our producer. Shout out
I
to our
love this guy.
producer Ryan.
Oh, they can't.
Thanks so
Oh,
much.
he's the voice in my head, guys. I'm sorry, you can't see him too.
So while you're doing that, Michael, there's a great question that we can ponder as we get kind of working through this. Do you think it's beneficial to know rules for designing before you break them? How do you go about that when it comes to creating designs and venturing outside of your comfort zone? Which is a fantastic question there, Nicole. Thank you so
Ooh.
much for sharing that. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so that's a it was like I think it kind of fits into kind of like our kind of like that what we're kind of going through the fierce ambivalence on that. I mean, I think it fits that as well. I mean, I would say I'll go ahead and add. I see. I'm gonna approach it from a different Nicole. So I wasn't like trained. I didn't go to class or school to become a graphic designer, but kind of learned that kind of afterwards. Like, it's funny thing. My brother, shout out to my brother Adrian. He went to school. He was a graphic designer, so I kind of learned from him. So it's per se is like I didn't learn the rules, like in quotations. And so I didn't know there was rules to break or if you or not. So I just kind of did the the graphic design thing. So um I don't know. I guess in a way, I guess it's good to know like some the concept of like as far as design. But I was like, if you haven't, obviously, I would say just dive into it. Just go for it.
Hmm.
Well,
I
the
don't know.
thought of like who made the rules, because I
Mhm.
mean, as you, Michael, you threw out, some different authors, but artists in the past, I mean, they made their own form, they made their own style, and that's what makes it unique and creative is that you can make it your own and blend things together. No, that's a really deep thought. I don't think you have to know the rules. You can go with how it feels and with what's working to make something different and unique.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say coming at it, I think there's a respect in the community. It's kind of like saying the word typeface, right? Like if you go in and you say, "Oh, look at the letters," then like there's somebody that put their entire career into the letters, right? And into typeface.
Yeah.
And so when when I first started drawing, I was maybe in the third or fourth grade, and I've always been a little doodler, but like that's when I started taking it seriously. I was going to make the big bucks at it. And that was when I was drawing on the side of my paper and drawing on exams. I was always a bit
Hmm.
bored in class because I would finish the exam pretty early and I was like, okay, what now? So I'd draw. And then I'd get minus points on my test because I drew on the test and I defaced it. But it was always like some like Ben 10, it was a Pokemon, it was like a Pokemon of my own design, right? It was always something that was like really like like it was very innocent. And so to that regard, like if you just draw but you don't do the exam, then I'd say okay, like like respect the assignment or the world that you're living in first. Respect it, but then play with it and find people within that kind of realm or within that discipline that want to experience it the same way as you do, and then people who are on the opposite end of it. Because if you are only around people who agree with you, then you won't grow. And you're just going to love what you hear, and it's going to be Hakuna Matata and this and that, and it's going to be fine, and you'll live a very happy life, and life will be good.
Yeah.
Or
No.
you could be around people who are like, dude, like, this is fine, but like if you take it to a different medium, or if you, again, change the typeface, or, like, what are you really feeling?
Yeah.
um you should have a friend for both. And again, like my mom's pretty cool because she's like the number one fan. Like she's like that mom from Monsters University, like taking the pictures all the time. Like I'm like
Hmm.
squishy, I'm like, hi mom. But then I've got friends that like I'm like they're Sonic the Hedgehog and they're my Shadow the Hedgehog, and they're like constantly like, dude, you're not fast enough, like you're not, you need to keep going. And I'm like, but I'm training hard, whatever. And like, I sometimes I give my excuses and I know that they're gonna come at me with something else. But there's something nice about having someone that like wants to tear you down so that they can root for you. And if you can do the same thing within those set disciplines, but also have fun with it without
Yeah.
like being so serious about the growth, like the gym and education should be fun. It shouldn't be tearing muscle and like being out of commission. It should be doing enough to get the reps down and then hitting it harder the next day in a different muscle group. So creativity, I
Yeah.
think, runs the same way as like an ecosystem. You can't trigger the central nervous system too crazy. You have to shock it, but then you have to pull it back and like give it a muffin or like you have to be a
Yeah.
bit delicate.
Love it.
Totally. No,
Also,
I
so
like your mindset of yeah, simply
mm,
the respect of it
yeah,
is true.
100%. Yeah,
Thank
and one of the comments is here. You like as far as like to answer the question, like, do you need to have that design? Do you need to know it? In some of the like the technical things, like for somebody commented is for like our art hip hop friends. It's like
you.
to know like the difference between what a raster file is and a vector file. So like yes, so the technical pieces behind what you're doing. So yes, definitely for sure we want to know. And once you do, then take off. Be creative and break the rules there.
Mhm.
So yeah, Michael, we're checking out. We got a couple of your ideas there. Water bottle sitting on the fence, rapid rise, pressure
I should show
intense.
you.
Oh,
So here's what we have so far. If it's just the fence and then the water bottle, I picture being kind of crinkled. So
very
this is where
cool.
we're
Yeah.
at right now. It's nowhere near complete. I picture it being a bit of a raggedy kind of fence, like it's,
Yeah.
and I'm almost thinking it's like a fence, but you're actually sitting on a fence, but then there is no divide between the two worlds. It's just you are the divide. And at first I was drawing the fence and I was like, wait, this has to be you go left or you go right, you have to whatever. But a lot of the time, and especially in the creative world, we put up a fence where there is no fence. And we're
Mm,
like, I have to study business and I have to study how to make money, or I have to go to art school and disappoint my parents and like,
mm,
go and study in Italy. Like, oh, but you can do both. You can do all of it. You
yeah.
can and that was the biggest shock to me as I went through university. Like I was told that the world was a certain way and you do the tutorial and you do those years and again when I was in grade school and I was a Boy Scout I was very like I know the Scouts honor I know everything by the book and as I started to break rules and kind of push the boundary to things there are people who didn't like being a disruptor but when I would disrupt and then somebody would kind of like slap your hand or be like, hey, don't draw, or you have a detention from drawing, it can be very discouraging if you don't come from an arts community. It's like if you're Kevin Bacon and you're going Footloose, but you're not in a dancing community. Like he would have fit in just fine in Greece, but he was just in the wrong movie, right?
Mm,
Some of us are just in the wrong place in the world.
yeah.
And Kung Fu Panda, I think, is one of those movies that speaks to that very well. Like some of us are pandas, some of us are snakes, right? Like we can all do
Yeah.
Kung Fu, we can all do it, but not everyone has the opportunity because sometimes the stairs are just so damn long. Like to get up, I worked at a restaurant. A lot of the time making it to events on the weekend was challenging, and so when I got opportunities to go to the Adobe things, I would just like people didn't know that I was driving like 2.5 hours to get to the thing across town. And like, I just got off of like an 8-hour shift and I smelt like, you know, uh, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta. And, like I showed up and I had to like change in the bathroom or in the car as I was driving while I'm responding to emails. I don't, I will not confirm that if you're an officer, but I would be doing all these crazy things. Voice typing is what I was doing. That's what I would be doing, voice typing. And it was just one of those things like I enjoyed the crazy chaos of it, but if I went and then they were like, "Oh, the event's ending early," like, we're only doing an hour instead of 3, which wasn't Adobe. Adobe was very like scheduled, but you'd go and creatives they're vibing. They're like it's either a vibe or it's not, And so
Cool.
um
Cool.
it was challenging if you're making that Hail Mary and if you guys are young and same way, like you don't have a lot of financial capital or what have you, the opportunities that you take are bigger risks, right? So
Yeah.
finding ways to mitigate that with people and people who can fill your water bottle, just a little bit, even if it's a few drops at a time. Maybe that's some inspiration for the poem here.
Nice. Nice. Love that.
Maybe we call it like dribbles and drops or something. That'd be drops and
Dribble and
dribbles.
drops.
Drops and dribbles. Ooh. See, I love how as we're having our this discussion, and we've got like the thanks again to Nicole for fierce ambivalence, and it's just building and building, and it's like you said, like all of this discussion, and as you're thinking about what you're as you're drawing, also is like the drops and dribbles. Like that sounds like we're coming up with the title of a poem here, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's like we're being productive while we're having fun. Like it's
Yeah,
I think people who put the fence in between, it's like you have to be serious or you have to have fun. It's like
yeah,
it's the same world. Like a drop is a dribble and a dribble is a drop. You know, like it's,
nice.
it's
So,
oops.
so, Michael, as you're drawing, you're gonna grab the drawing, and then you're gonna bring that in. Is that the goal? Is that the goal of the? That's what's gonna
Yes.
happen. Okay, perfect,
Yes.
awesome,
So what we'll do is Adobe has this really amazing app. Um, it is called Adobe Capture. And essentially what you can do is you can take your drawings and your physical media and you can put it straight into your Adobe files and you can drag and drop it in. And you can play around with it. You can mess with the opacity. You can colorize it. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so
awesome,
um, what we'll do is we'll throw it in there and then we'll mess with the colors and we'll add some backgrounds. We'll see how it plays
fantastic,
with the typefaces and whatnot. Um,
fantastic.
I didn't want to go full stock on this because that wouldn't be, it's more fun. But then we'll probably do some gradients in the background and like maybe add like a water bottle texture,
Cool,
and we can
cool.
do a few different things to kind of test that.
I'm looking forward to seeing the capture. Yeah. So for those of you as you're listening, yeah. So the Adobe Capture is a great app, and it's like I used that a lot for when I would see a font that I liked. If I saw colors, like if I was out walking and then I happened to see like if it was the sky and it happened to be like sunset, but it's just beautiful, like you got like a blue, dark blue, and then like a purple and then an orange, and then the trees, and like I would take a picture of that and use with capture, and then it would I can create a set of colors, which is great with capture. And in your case, you're gonna take a photo of the drawing that you have.
Hmm. We could try it a little bit this way too. We can that way keep you guys engaged with something to see. We can go let's see what dribble. Ooh, we do have some dribbles.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So like we can take it.
So what Michael went through is, so we're using the add content, and then looking for an image within the add content button there. So
Mhm.
that's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Add some much needed what's the word? Like structure, not structure, but like texture. It's so nice to add texture to what you're designing and I think if I were to get to the end of it and it's just the drawing, sometimes it's like seeing these stock photos and like seeing the water in front of me because I was just going off of what a water bottle looks like in my mind.
Hmm.
But sometimes just having that visual reference and again like having that suite of tools available to you just gives you something to work off of and you can again some people use it and like they use it as a guide and like it is the way like this is the way or it's kind of just like I want to go the opposite and like if it's a completely crinkled bottle then what would that bottle look like perfect, right? So
Yes.
a question for the audience is should this be a character of a water bottle? Do you guys want him to be or him or her? You guys can decide him, her, or they, who whatever this water bottle may whoever they become. I would like you guys to pick who what the personality is. Like is it a muscular water bottle looking at their options, or is it like a delicate water bottle with like a backpack and like is this water bottle moving from Waterland or is it where are they
Yeah.
going?
So let us know in the chat, everyone. Some of the we had someone comment that they're looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Uh,
Ooh,
they're gonna
A
they'll
fun
be
discussion.
Yeah. So they're looking forward to what you're going to share as soon as you as soon as you do that capture. We're
thank
looking
you.
forward to it. Yeah, and the anticipation is like, I don't know about you, Andy. I'm like, can't wait to see.
Yeah.
Ooh, no pressure, no pressure. This is very exciting. I'm
And it's all live. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
I
exciting because I get
Go
to
ahead, Andy.
watch it with you guys. I get to I'm guessing just as much as you are as I'm doing it because I have
Yeah.
no idea where it's gonna go. Like I've kind of an idea, but I think it's running with it and just like it's like I love collaborating with you guys and like doing it that
Yeah.
way. It's way better than if I
Well,
just had my mind made up. Like, all right, guys, here we go. We're rolling out water bottle land. Hoo-ha! Like,
yeah, and then the fact that you're like doing this live is just what is like the for me it'd be like the pressure would be like wow, like trying to come up with something like this. And so kudos to you. Like that's props to you.
oh, thank you.
Nicole commented personification and poetry make a lot of sense to me. I love that.
Ooh, okay. So the personification of it. Um, Nicole, are you picturing this water bottle? Who do you see this water bottle as? Like, are they a traveling water bottle? Are they is it a superhero water bottle that's like super confident? Like who we'll figure it out together.
The way you
Love it.
described it, I picture, and of course, yeah, let everybody in the chat have a chance to add in too. But I picture like, yeah, they're just getting started on their journey. Anything's possible. They could bulk up, be that, superhero, find those skills or talents along their journey.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I picture kind of like water bottle with their hitchhiker stick, and they're ready to go. Anything's possible along the route.
I like that. I like that. The cool thing is that our backpack, or not our backpack, our bottle has its back turned to us. So what we have so far is the bottle on the fence, and then to the left you have this like waterfall, river with the green and the grass, and it's like I can let my plastic exterior go, and I can become the water again. Or on the other way, it's gonna be like the big rough desert with the cactus and what have you, and it's like okay, in order to survive, I need to rely on my plasticky shell so that I can keep rolling through the desert and I can find maybe other plastic I can get recycled. Like maybe
Yeah,
it's saying that the shell's more important, more inspiration here. The shell is more important than the turtle kind of than the turtle is to the shell, right? Um, so the shell of the bottle or
fantastic.
or the fluid inside,
S-
the labels we wear
Shit of the
and
bottle.
the maybe the tears because like something I don't like the fluids that we hide. The liquids. No, not even the liquids. Like I'm hiding liquid. Like the labels we wear and the tears that we hide. Even in a water bottle where it's all transparent, no feeling is final and nothing's apparent. Like, whoa,
Fantastic.
there we go.
So, Michael, what we're gonna do is as you continue your drawing,
Hmm.
we're gonna dive into a little bit of Firefly while you do that, so you can work on your drawing.
Okay.
And then once we wrap up, we'll come back like that'll give you time to scan it, capture it and bring it in. And that way we can. I just want to make where I want to make sure we don't run out of time for you to get your artwork done, and then for us to do a little quick demo here.
Oh,
So
amazing. Yeah,
that's
that'd be a really nice a good segue. So this
yeah,
is I'll be working on it, but also be like paying attention the same
fantastic,
way. Like
fantastic.
I'm it's too bad if I'm too focused into this. I'd
No,
love
no
to
worries, no
you guys.
worries. So we're just gonna ask. I'm gonna do a quick share of my screen here, and then we'll
And you're doing that, Claudio. Yeah, shout out again. Yeah, Nicole, great to have everybody in here. But yeah, the fun hat for the bottle, Michael, as you're hearing that, the
Ooh.
bottle cap, um,
Oh,
um,
that's cool. Bottle cap.
a bottle cap. But yeah, just Nicole gave you a shout out. Beautiful on what you already have scripted and written there. And yeah, hey Steph, great to see more people jumping in here. So absolutely, go ahead, Claudio.
awesome. Yeah. So what I'm gonna be diving into. I'm gonna use Firefly. I'm gonna jump into like use a Firefly board. So hopefully you'll be able to see my screen here in just a bit. And so Andy and I were kind of chatting a bit, talking about like what like we wanted to pull like we're not as like on the spot as Michael's writing his poem. So we both kind of like talked like a childhood a writer, and so we landed on one of the books by Shel Silver, and I wanted Silverstein or Stein.
Silverstein. Yeah.
Silverstein.
And say I brought up, oh yeah, because
Oh,
I've got my
I'm here
first
too.
editions, and yeah, the
word. That's
Giving
it.
Tree, the Sidewalk Ends, the Light in the Attic. I mean, these are, yeah, I grew up just diving into all of these.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
and so what I'm gonna do is opened up a board here. So we're gonna what we did is we pulled out one of the I think we were talking about which poem, and so we want to kind of use one of the poems as kind of our inspiration to generate an image using Firefly. And so I'm gonna have Andy, if you want to read you want to read
Yeah,
it out.
game
Yeah.
on.
So
Yeah, and then
while
full.
you read it, I'm gonna add it here as text. So I'm just using a text box here in Firefly. So go ahead, Andy.
Yeah. So one, I mean, this is coming. This is pulling my heartstrings as a past educator to do a little bit of a read aloud. But where the sidewalk ends, um, but enter the deserted house, and so the text storyline that we have here is, but please walk softly as you do. Frogs dwell here and crickets too.
Oh,
Ain't
I
no
like that.
ceiling, only blue. Jays dwell here, and sunbeams too. Floors are flowers, take a few. Ferns grow here, and daisies too. Whoosh, swoosh, to wit, to woo. Bats dwell here, and hoot owls too. Ha ha ha, hee hee, ho ho. Gnomes dwell here, and goblins too. And my child, I thought you knew. I dwell here, and so do you.
That was phenomenal, Andy. Taking us back, yeah, I was like, I miss reading books, literature, and poems to students. So
Mm.
so what I did is I dropped the poem into Firefly into one of the boards. We're using a little text box, so I just like copied and pasted in here. So what I'm going to do is like, and rather than just paste the poem in there, is like let's come up with a prompt to kind of see what to recreate, because he was a fantastic artist. Like he did his own artwork. So we don't want to use his artwork. So we want to generate something. I'm going to use Gemini to do this one right here. And let me change the. I'm going to go with a portrait. So I added a deserted house. And so Andy, what else should we and based on like our poems to like to give it some
Uh,
more.
I picture, I mean, things that stood out to me as I was reading that was one, the sunbeams. And because there's no roof, it's that deserted, there's like holes in the ceiling and the roof there. So the sunbeams breaking through. Um, and then, of course, the idea of nature kind of
Hmm.
coming through the cracks, whether it's daisies, it's ferns, things that are kind of breaking through. And I love walking along the sidewalk and you see plants grow where you don't expect them to. And it just kind of encourages that sense of growth and survival. Even in harsh conditions. So thinking, Michael, like your water surviving that desert. But the idea of having these creatures come find shelter in a place that may not be what others find inviting, but that
Mm.
they see security there, and seeing that that hoot owl,
I
but
love
the
that.
the onomatopoeia, the swoosh swoosh, and all of those additional to kind of adds in a little bit of that depth, especially thinking the gnomes and the goblins.
Mm.
Everybody's welcome here too.
I love that. When you're saying that, I almost picture, and you say the sunlight coming through, I picture like a frog on like wooden planks and like a little bit of green growing through it. And the frog's almost like surprised like that there's like light coming through and it's like looking up like what the heck? Like I picture like eyes full of light in the frog. And then on the other hand, I almost picture when like this house turns nighttime, the moonlight comes in, and then
Oh,
there's like a bioluminescence that fills the house. And then it's like the gnomes and the goblins come alive. It's kind of like Minecraft. Like you
oh,
can
I hear you. Yes, I mean once that the clock or the moon drops or rises and the sun drops, and you get the zombies and the creepers coming through, but and the
Yeah.
spiders. Um, but no, and I mean Claudio, I mean in Firefly here, I love boards for doing what you're doing here, and to be able to take anything with what we're working with, long or short, free verse. I
Yeah.
mean, taking Michael's original writing too to create something like this.
Mm.
Okay. Here's the first iteration that was so we got that sunbeam coming through the
Oh,
roof,
Oh,
from
the
inside the
nose.
house. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool. It's
That's
like
kind of coming
it's
through
like
there.
sunrise. Maybe the sun's coming up from the other side and shining through. Yeah.
mm,
And
that's
so
cool.
I used watercolor style, but if we want to give it kind of watercolor style. So let's say maybe this is kind of towards sunset or yeah, like sunset. Let's see, during sunset. Let's see.
And as you talk about it with watercolor style, I love that, with doing this. I mean, Silverstein did his own writing, but did his own illustrations. And so this just takes something in a completely different direction, something that may inspire a different perspective or thought. Um, and just doing a quick little shift on what kind of style, you get a whole different interpretation or different mood or vibe out of it.
Yeah,
Mm,
and so look at this. Okay, so I changed it to kind of during sunset. So yeah, look at that. That was look at
Oh,
the owl up there, and look at the
that's
crickets.
cool.
The
mm.
crickets right here. Um,
Oh, the detail. Yeah, I mean the subtleness of like the crickets popping there, and I like in the first one how the gnomes are almost they've came to life in the sense that they're protecting or
okay,
taking
check
care
this
of it.
one. Almost look at this one, kind of a line art. I had said like it look like the little look at these gnomes right here,
And
and
so
then the sun
it's
is
Oh,
there.
almost Snow White. We've got
Yeah, it
our
almost got a Snow White vibe.
very
Yeah.
high ho. Yeah, I can
Hi
see.
ho,
I can
hi
see
ho.
them.
That's so cool.
And the
Uh,
owl, I like the consistency of the owl because he's
yeah.
like, it's almost like he's the ruler of this place, and they just kind of live in it. Like it's like them putting it on the highest perch is, it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's
so like think of if you're like I say if you're in the classroom or teacher, student, or like your own you're a writer creating your own poems and using something like Firefly here to, you know, your students' poems, taking them and visualizing them, how they can see it. One of the things that I've always wondered, that I've always been fascinated with, like whenever you read a book and then they turn it into a movie, you know, we always see like Gandalf is going to look this way because that's the way, Peter Jackson, they cast, Sir Ian McKellen as Gandalf. And so we have this visual of Gandalf always looking a certain way because we've seen that, but this allows you to like, I want to visualize certain characters look in a different way instead of like what's given to me, um, or what's been produced.
Mhm.
All
I
right.
like cool.
Um, yeah, these came out fantastic. I think for let's go. What we'll do is let's do one more, and then what do you think, Michael? You're ready to share out yours?
Yeah, we're almost there. I was gonna say, could you try one in bioluminescence? Like try like a night mode, like
Oh,
oh,
ask it what it would look like at night, like
yeah. I'm
when
gonna
the
go back to this one and a watercolor style in
that's thinking of
bioluminescence.
Moana, bioluminescent algae.
Yeah, I always have to bioluminescence. This is bioluminescence.
That's a word. That's
There we go. I guess I'm not spelling it correctly, but there it is. Bioluminescence style. Here we go. Let's see.
and I love how it's the same prompt, just changing that art
Yeah.
style. And this gives students and creators all kinds of different inspiration.
And thanks so much. I see in the chat, people are they're enjoying this. They're saying it's beautiful. They like it. It's
that's really cool. To be able to
nighttime.
imagine it differently so quick is
Look at that.
Oh,
whoa.
there we go.
Oh.
So going back to going back to the fierce ambivalence, the two sides, like, we're seeing that right here between that bioluminescent version and this one right here, the sunset one. And So being able to take, edit, just like just by changing a few words, giving you that different feel and different mode. This is very cool. This is very cool. And
That's great.
everyone, thanks for keep joining us. I know we're almost at time, but we're getting close to sharing Michael's final drawing here. But also while we do this, Andy, I would just because I know I want to make sure we don't run out of time. But for coming up next week, I'm just gonna say make sure if you're joining us here, make sure to join next week because
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about kind of almost on the same vein as far as our artwork and poetry. But we're going to talk about creating children's books.
Oh,
We're going to use Adobe Express, and we're going to use Firefly as well. My colleague from Wales will be joining next week, Moretta Jones. You're in for a treat because we're writing our own book.
oh,
We're creating a children's book.
That's awesome.
We've already kind of mapped it out and started. We're working on this. You don't want to miss it, and also make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't
Totally.
miss out.
I was gonna
Um,
say, if you're an educator, I mean, bringing these workflows into your classroom, I mean, from today's episode, the one for next week, I mean, these are lesson plans that are practically like being written, created for you to take and use. And, your students will absolutely remember it. So just like what Claudia said, yeah, smash that subscribe button, make sure you turn those notifications on so you don't miss it because the weeks get busy, but these connections are incredible.
all right,
hmm
I'm gonna go ahead
I
and
I
Michael, you
guess I'll
ready?
subs. Yeah, we're good. We just have to do a little
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead.
positioning, but
I'm gonna
so pretty
stop
much.
sharing here, and then
You
we're
guys are
gonna
okay, I guess. I guess I'll like and subscribe, and maybe I'll come next. All right,
Join in, yeah.
Okay,
Oh
I
man.
guess. Wait, can you see it? Oh, you guys can't see it
Not
yet.
yet.
Good, good, good. Ha 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 ha. Missed it.
Oh, the
I have to
voice
share
from
my screen.
Yeah, share your
Oh,
screen. Yeah.
oh, my bad. Suspense.
No,
Okay.
you're good. You're good.
Okay, wait. I have to have some. Can you see it? Okay,
And
good.
there we go. Yep, we
Here we
see a
So,
go.
screen, and you just have to drag it over.
okay. So I'm gonna do a quick just kind of a summary of how we got here. So we started off with the text. We started with our fierce and our ambivalence, two defining traits to any voyage a pirate dare. Then we had the idea of the crinkled water bottle because it's not perfect, and the sitting on the fence, right? A delicate rhythm and balance, like sitting on a fence, which then inspired a water bottle sitting on the fence, rapids rise and pressure intense, a glass half full, I fit the mold, create, motivate, and long behold, a streamer desert, two roads that ream. Will I stay fluid or will I go up in steam? Because this desert will steam you and the
So
river won't.
good.
So then that gave birth to drops and dribbles, which then gave birth to shell of the bottle, or the fluids inside, the labels we wear, and the tears that we hide. The bottle is clear, but the feeling's transparent, or feeling's apparent. I'm stuck in a bottle, and it should be transparent. And so
Wow.
then we
That's so
have,
good, man.
So yeah.
there we go. Thank you, thank you.
Oh man.
We have this
Ah,
guy. So again, it's a little messy, right? We intentionally kind of did that, but um he instead of the stick, because I like the stick idea, but he's tiny, so he's going to be using a straw. He's got to use a straw as a
brilliant.
crutch. And it's a plastic straw, so it's kind of been like worn down, you know what I mean? Like it's been crinkled
Yeah.
just
I
like
like,
him.
yeah,
It's his staff, he can like fight things with it and like, and then
that's
So
his little
fantastic.
bottle cap has a cap, I added that at the top there. Um but on the right, you have the lush kind of river over here. Again, I think when people try to make them perfect trees, like they kind of look like lily pads from up there, and he has no idea what those are, right? Because it's all from a distance. But then the way on the left is a lot more clear because cactuses are a lot more to the point and prickly, and they are more transparent, right? So you have one side that's going to value the bottle side, and then you have one side that's going to value what is the water capable of, and how is it going to nourish that ecosystem. So. Uh,
Fantastic, man. That is awesome. And
totally.
again, everyone, um, using Adobe Capture, the app on your phone, it's took a photo of that and it's synced up with your Creative Cloud. Michael, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
We are at time, everyone, and we appreciate you all. We went slightly over. I know we started a little bit late, but that's cool.
Mm.
We're thankful for all of you joining us. Michael, if anybody wants to connect with you, wants to know where you're at, where can they find you?
Oh, amazing. Yes. I will put it on the next page. Where is it? Same size page. You can find me. I am findable. I'll put it in a font that you can easily read too. Be like, okay, here we go.
So
You
official.
made it to the end. Stay hydrated. That was a long, right? Stay hydrated. I should have had my Adobe water bottle with me. I didn't drink any water. I wasn't inspired by my 100 Thieves water bottle this whole time. Um, on Instagram,
And say for people in the chat, the we just got that added in on
Oh, thank you so
finding you
much.
on following you on Instagram. Yeah. Hey Mike
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Yes, it's Hey, Mike
Detorik.
Vitoric.
yeah. And then that's the same. What is it? I think this is Instagram and YouTube.
And then on
If it
LinkedIn,
was,
which is
Yeah. And I love how
fantastic.
this is a community creation. I mean, from all the comments in the chat, adding this, Michael,
Yeah.
putting his talents on the spot. This is fantastic. So thank
Yeah.
you, everybody, joining in and doing all this in under an hour. Honestly,
Yeah.
amazing.
And on the spot with the drawing, so fantastic. And everyone, we appreciate you sticking around. And if for some of you it might be lunchtime, some of you already passed lunch, but this was a nice lunch for your creativity. Yeah, you're a
oh
nice
yeah.
meal. And then stay hydrated. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. And
Oh, of
Andy,
course.
thank you so for co-hosting. Oh, this is awesome. Feel wonderful.
Wrapping it all together.
Um,
Yeah.
be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.